I want to welcome you to another segment of the Jermaine Brown Sports Talk Show. Today is Friday, January the 31st, 2014. It's been a couple of weeks since I did my last broadcast. Truthfully, I had to get the loss by the San Francisco 49ers out of my system. They lost to the Seattle Seahawks, and it was really difficult for me to take, It still to this day bothers me, because I'm a 49er fan. But I want to congratulate Seattle on winning that game, and they have to have the pleasure of going up this Sunday in the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning. Now, I actually think this is going to be a pretty good game. The weather doesn't seem like it's going to be as much of a factor as some people actually thought it was going to be. Okay, so this game is hard to tell how it's going to go, but I'm going to make a prediction in this game. I'm going to pick Seattle to win this game 27-24. That means it's not a high-scoring game, but it's not a low-scoring game either. But I do think that Seattle will pull this game out. I'm actually rooting for Seattle. I'm not going to lie. I'm rooting for Seattle to pull this game out. It won't hurt me if the Broncos win because I actually like the Broncos. I like Peyton Manning. I'm actually a Peyton Manning fan, so to speak. So it wouldn't hurt me if the Broncos won this game. But I'm going to pick Seattle because not many people is giving them really a chance to really win this game. And to me, the defense is far superior to. They got the best defense in the league. And defense, to me, still wins in this league. Despite all the rules that they try to make the offenses better and to make the offense the name of the game, it still comes back to, can you get stops? Can you move the football and can you stop the other team? That's what this game still comes down to. And notice the renaissance of the running game. If you notice, the teams that are left in the teams that went far in these playoffs and they're left, they all still have the ability to run the football. And I think in order for Denver to win this game, they're going to have some success on the ground. They cannot just put that ball in the air and think you're going to beat Seattle. It's hard to beat Seattle when you're one-dimensional. I'm going to tell you that right now. Denver is going to have to effectively be able to run as well as pass to win that game. Now, let me get to Richard Sherman's, or the brouhaha, should I call it, about what took place after the NFC Championship game a couple of weeks ago with Richard Sherman. To me, all that was much to do about nothing. It was the heat of the moment. I understand. To me, people overreacted to his rant. Now, it wasn't my taste, personally speaking. I would have liked him to be a little bit more humble in his victory, but I'm not going to criticize him for it because I understand it's the heat of the moment. He just made the play of the game. Because, everybody, okay, let me say this. 99% of other cornerbacks in this league, that would have been, that ball would have ended up in Crabtree's hands. At the very least, it would have been either an incompletion or a touchdown. Most likely a touchdown. That ball, it was an excellent thrown ball by Kaepernick. But the problem is, he was throwing up against Richard Sherman, who's 6'2" and better. Okay? A taller cornerback, because remember, when he reached back, he just got his fingertips on that ball to deflect that ball. If that had been, like I said, Darrelle Revis, who's also a great quarterback in his own right, he would have never been able to touch that ball. That ball was an excellently thrown ball. It's just that he made a better play. To me, he made the play of the game because it looked like San Francisco was about to win that game. But his play helped seal the game for for Seattle. So I'm gonna take my cap off to him. I mean, he really is a great cornerback. And you know this well, he's a big mouth and he talks. Look, Muhammad Ali was a big mouth and a talker. But when Muhammad Ali get in the ring and he back it up. When you can back it up, you're free to talk. When you can go and back it up. What I don't like is guys who talk but can't really back it up. Those are the guys who really bother me. Those are the guys who I wish would just shut up. But when you're really the best, and Richard Sherman, okay, is one of the best in the game today, you got to give him his props. He's free to talk. That's how I feel about that particular topic. When I come back, I'm going to give you my thoughts on Carmelo Anthony and what he should do in this upcoming free agency period. Okay, welcome back to the Jermaine Brown Sports Talk Show. Today is Friday, January 31st, 2014. Carmelo Anthony, the word on the street is, or the word in the league is, that Carmelo Anthony, really by Carmelo's own mouth, out of his own mouth, said that he wanted to explore his free agency options, which means potentially opt out of his contract and become a free agent, potentially going elsewhere. Here's my thoughts to that. Carmelo Anthony, I'm going to speak directly to you here, buddy. Think carefully about what you're about to do. Because what you're about to do is going to shape the rest of your career. You make the wrong move again, and you're going to be known as one of those great players, great scorers in history who cannot win a ring. So be careful here. There are some teams that's going to be able to afford your services when you're ready to opt out, besides the Knicks. Okay, the Knicks can obviously pay you the most money. Chicago most likely be able to afford your services, and the Los Angeles Lakers, not the Clippers. Now, I know the talk is he would like to go play with Chris Paul there with the Clippers, but I don't see that as a realistic possibility unless the Clippers is willing to give up Blake Griffin. And why in the world would you do that if you're the Clippers? I wouldn't necessarily do that. Blake Griffin is young, and he's really coming into his own. I would not give him up for Carmelo Anthony because there's no guarantee that Carmelo Anthony going to put me over the top. Having Carmelo going to put me over the top here. And that's the only reason you would make a move like that. That move would have to guarantee that you become world champions, NBA champions. And that move doesn't guarantee it. And I don't know if it makes you a better or worse team. I would have to really think more about it. But I think that it would hurt you in certain areas. But forget the Clippers at this point, because I don't think the Clippers is a real viable option. So now this comes down to maybe Dallas, LA, Lakers, Chicago Bulls. Forget Dallas. I don't see him going to Dallas. I think at this point he's only going to want to play with a big market team. Carmelo. That's my guess here. My guessing. And so this is really going to come down to New York, Chicago, and LA. Those are the three viable landing spots that Carmelo most likely going to consider. Or end up one of those spots he's going to end up choosing once he opts out of his contract and should become a free agent. All right, let's look at each three. None of the three are really appealing options here, in my opinion. And I'm going to explain why. Let's first take a look at LA. LA is going to have Kobe Bryant for the next 2 to 3 years, an aged Kobe Bryant. And the problem with Carmelo going to LA next year, to the Lakers, he would have to play with Kobe for at least 2 seasons. Here's the problem with that. Carmelo and Kobe are two of the same exact players. They're both scorers. They're both high-volume shooters. They both need the ball to really be effective. That's their shtick, their game. They both want the ball. And the last time I checked, there's only one ball that can be on the court at the same time, or at any particular time. Only one ball. So I don't see that meshing well. Oh, but it worked in the Olympics. The Olympics is a lot different, and the Miami Heat had to find that out the hard way themselves. It's a lot different than an 82-game schedule, including playoffs in the regular season in basketball. Okay? There's a thing called chemistry, team chemistry. And Kobe and Carmelo and what else? What else are you going to have? I mean, come on, let's be realistic. Because if Kobe's making max money or making near max money, and Melo's making near max money or going to be making max money, where's that going to leave everyone else? So you can't just don't sit and tell me you're going to have a team with Kobe and Carmelo think you're going to win a championship there. Buddy, that's not going to happen. Which means now you're going to have to wait for Kobe to leave, and then you got to hope that Jim Buss is as shrewd as his dad, Dr. Jerry Buss. Jerry Buss was shrewd. Jerry Buss knew how to put together a championship team. If Jerry Buss was still running the Lakers, if he was still alive, then I would say LA is a more attractive choice. But his son don't seem to have that same aptitude for being able to put together a championship caliber team. He just doesn't have the credentials. So now you got to trust that he knows what he's doing. And to me, by re-signing Kobe for the money he signed him, I'm not so convinced he really knows what he's doing. So let's remove LA out of the picture for a second. Let's look at now Chicago. Chicago's actually a pretty viable choice here. But here's the problem with Chicago. You'll be playing with a guy by the name of Derrick Rose, who just came off 2 knee surgeries. So you really do not know his actual health situation here. And what you don't want is an Amari Stoudemire type situation where you go there and then you find out he's a shell of himself. That doesn't make you better. Not only that, here's even a bigger problem if you go to Chicago. To make room for you, they already got rid of Luau Day. So to make room for you, that means they're probably going to have to get rid of Joakim Noah as well. Because I doubt that they're going to have the money to be able to pay 3 max guys. I don't think they have the cap room to do it. Now, if you get rid of Joakim Noah, congratulations, you just got rid of the size that you needed. So then you're no better off than you were here. Not only that, Derrick Rose is not your traditional point guard. He's not a Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo, when he got the ball in his hand, he does all that dribbling and driving. He's looking to pass the ball. That's not Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is a scorer. He's more of a Russell Westbrook type player. I don't see that working as well with Carmelo. If Derrick Rose wasn't too thrilled to fight to bring LeBron James to Chicago, because the word was he really didn't campaign for LeBron to come to Chicago. I seriously doubt he's going to campaign for Carmelo to come to Chicago. So I really don't see that realistically working. Which now, Carmelo, brings us back to New York. Your best bet is to ride it out here. Now, by the time you opt out, the Knicks should be underneath the cap because they should have really 1 more year on the Stoudemire deal. That's a dead deal. There's nothing you can do about that. So you're just going to have to grin and bear it for just 1 more year until that money comes off the books. Then what you need to do is sit down with management and then y'all need to map out a plan that's going to help put the right type of talent around you. This is why I don't want the Knicks going and do something stupid like giving up Tim Hardaway Jr. and Shumpert for a Kyle Landry. That's a dumb move. That's a move that would set the Knicks back even further. You only give up those players to get a Rajon Rondo. If you're not getting a Rajon Rondo, you don't give up those guys. And right now, Tim Hardaway Jr. is hot. It's like he's finally came into his own. I'm really not in the mood of really giving him up, period. But it would have to be with a young future Hall of Famer, point guard. Rajon Rondo would do the trick. He would be the only player that I would give up Tim Hardaway Jr. for right now. Other than that, I'm not going down that road. And what you're asking the Knicks to do is go. Here's what I would do if I was Anthony. Here's what I would do. I would go to the Knicks and say, look, let's see what we can do about getting Jeremy Lin back here. Because Jeremy Lin operated well in that offense. Operated well in that offense. Now, he's not a great point guard. No, he's not. But he's adequate. He's good. He's better than what you would currently have playing the position. I'm sorry. Raymond Felton is not the guy that's going to lead you to the next level. I'm sorry, he's not. Raymond Felton is a backup. Plain and simple. And I'm sorry. I mean, Jeremy Lin is just better. That's an upgrade at the position. Now, I would not pay Jeremy Lin's salary. What I would do is I would say, look, I would work it out. Where I give them, say, a J.R. Smith. And I say, or no, because I actually know the salary's going to have to match. And they got that poison pill coming up. Oh, boy. Ooh. I would figure out a way to see if I can get Lin here to New York. You might have to do a three-way trade to make it work. A three-team trade to make it work. A four-team trade to make it work. But I would figure out a way to get Jeremy Lin back here. But basically, Houston has to eat most of that salary. If you can do that to make it work, if not, well, my first priority, though, is to see if I can get Rajon Rondo to come to New York. That's my first priority before I go to Jeremy Lin route. Because Rajon Rondo would work well with Carmelo Anthony. He would actually make the Knicks a better team immediately. Immediately, they would be a better team. Barring injuries, they would be a better team immediately because now they have a true point guard. Somebody who knows how to run an offense, but more importantly, somebody who also knows how to play some defense. Because that is also what you need. So if you're Carmelo Anthony, think twice now before you try to go looking at greener pastures. Because the pastures are not always greener elsewhere. It may appear that way. I understand your frustration. But you cannot think with your emotions on this. You better think logically. Because if you leave New York now, you're going to be known as a team hopper. A guy who hops from team to team. You don't want that. You don't want that on your resume. And then the pressure's going to be even more on you to win a championship wherever else you got. I mean, the pressure's on you now to win. And you can win, but you just got to get the right talent around you. The pieces have to fit like a glove. It has to fit perfectly. Just because another guy's a superstar don't mean you're going to work well with them. It has to fit. The pieces have to fit. That's all I have tonight. And I want to thank you again for watching the Jermaine Brown Sports Talk Show. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy the Super Bowl coming up.